Alright, for those who don't know, loves, here we are in a Last Day on Earth video. And a few days ago, Kefir released an update, but it's a technical update, okay? If we check the Play Store, an update is available, but it doesn't appear in the What's New section. Don't worry, these updates often don't show up in the Play Store. The reason for this update, because this update tells us that Kefir, we have worked on improving the game's graphics so that the environments are more immersive, with deeper and more natural lights and shadows. Our main goal was to implement these changes without sacrificing the game's performance or overloading your devices. Meanwhile, we'd like to share the robot dog concept art from the swamp region. Tell us, what do you think of this high-tech pet? Well, first of all, about the update I mentioned, which I will update right now. But yes, I wanted to tell you about this. Displaying it on the Play Store or whichever store you use, but it won't appear for you. The one that appears there is often just technical changes, and sometimes the update shows up in the Play Store, but it doesn't say what it is. And now that Kefir has added these two pieces of concept art of the Robodogs, I'm going to show you this one first, okay? Because I think it's the most interesting, although the second part also seems quite interesting to me as well. And just look at this concept art. We can see how we're going to be able to carry chests with the Robodog, and here we already have a clue because notice that we have a chest. One of those that appear in the exploration area or very similar ones, okay? The ones that appear in the exploration area, that indicates that the Robodogs will be able to transport a chest. But there are several things about the Robodog that I find quite interesting. And when Kefir released the roadmap, he already told us several things about the Robodogs that I have here. In fact, in his description of the Robodog, Kefir already mentioned this. The Robodog is another one of the pets planned for this year. The conditions in the swamp region are too harsh for dogs, that's why we didn't add a new breed. But we couldn't leave the survivors without a loyal friend either. That's how the idea of a four-legged robotic companion came about. The Robodog will have a larger inventory and will be able to carry resource crates. There are two things here that I find interesting. The first is that they already told us that the new swamp area was going to be somewhat inspired by these exploration zones. Most likely, these will be similar areas for transporting this type of chest, since we already have the all-terrain vehicle which is needed to reach the swamp level. So we'll already be able to transport 4 chests, but with the Robodog we could transport up to a 5th chest. And these areas will probably be large, right? I don't know if they'll be as big as the exploration areas, right? But of course not as small or as normal sized as we have now. These new areas will resemble the exploration areas, but there's another detail I find interesting. They tell us that the Robodog's inventory is going to be bigger. It doesn't show up here, but they say it's going to be bigger, much bigger. I imagine it's the backpack of our loyal friend, which currently has 5 slots, and there's something else that I find relevant. And it's what they don't mention here. Because it says here that Kefir, that they can't leave us without a loyal friend and that the conditions are so tough, right? That they're adding a Robodog and it's clear that a normal dog won't be able to come to this area. To the swamp area, only the Robodog will be able to come. But in no case does it say that the Robodog can't go to normal areas to a raid, right? Imagine a Robodog that has more capacity, okay? That it can carry a generator, for example. We've found bases that have several generators, right? I've seen bases with 5 generators and there's not enough time to get them all by bike, right? Because for now, as long as the ATV doesn't have more slots than the bike, we'll have to keep using the bike. So the dog would help us carry loot as well in case it can carry it. I'm saying it's not certain, but it definitely doesn't say we won't be able to take it. What it does say is that we won't be able to take loyal friend to the swamp. But it doesn't mention the Robodog can't go to other areas, so we'd have to choose which loyal friend? Take each one to an area where we really want to do some damage. For example, if we're doing the waves at the police station, I take the loyal friend, but for looting I prefer more space even if it means losing the loyal friend's damage. Because this Robodog doesn't seem like an attack dog, it seems more like a domestic dog. It will give us more carrying capacity and carry chests for us. But it doesn't look like it's going to bite or do any damage or anything like that, although they haven't specified those details yet. But what is clear is that if they let us choose between taking the Robodog or taking loyal friend to any area, except as I said the swamp, where only the Robodog could go, it would be great because in areas where we want to take a dog, it could have more space and carry chests too. We would take Ropero and Robodog to areas where we want to do more damage in the waves, in Bunker Alpha. That's how it is. In the transport center, we would take our loyal friend, who with his extra damage would help us get through the area while spending much less. And now we have this second image that also shows us that it's Kefir. And we see these legs, okay? This Robodog consists of 6 parts. We'll see where we can get these parts. Because honestly, We're not seeing anything that looks like anything we already have in the game. So we see that several parts have their names here, but none of them match any part we have in the game. It's true that here they don't separate them, okay, with these rotors, these mechanical parts, all of this here, okay, but at no point do they tell us what kind of parts they are. We don't have any reference to current parts. We'll see if new parts come out. Maybe new parts that we have to get in the swamp itself. Maybe parts that we have to build or get in some other way. But it's clear that this Robodog has Robodog parts. A lot of parts that we'll have to get somehow. But I don't care how I get a Robodog. Will it be better than the infamous system we have? To get True Friend, many players have been trying for months, even years. And the system is so bad that they still haven't been able to get a good True Friend dog. And let's not even talk about getting a better True Friend dog, which already seems impossible. If we have to build the Robodog, of course, getting the parts can't be as hard as getting True Friend. And look, guys, besides all this, today the Hunter's Instinct begins. It's an event that lasts 18 days. And even though you see that it's a lot, I think it's good news because you know that you can finish this event by playing a lot fewer days. You don't have to play all 18. I think you can finish it in about 8 days or so if we go all out. At a more moderate pace, I'd say 12, 13 or 14 days at most. We can't lose many days in this event if we want to finish. Remember, you also need to hunt many animals, which is an expense. We'll take a look at it calmly tonight during the live stream, but for sure, they're adding the new rewards we've all been waiting for. And it's these little cats. We have 2 kittens from level 1 to 2, and we have another 2 kittens from level 1 to 3. Although we're already seeing that opening them is turning out to be pretty rough. Okay? We can also win them, which doesn't do much for me because I already have them, but you can win them. These extractors too, titanium, copper, bauxite, the 3 extractors we have in the daily shop. And we level up pretty quickly. At level 30, we'll be able to buy a daily drone module blueprint. It won't be many because it'll take us quite a few days to reach level 30. And the good news is that they've also added cats to the event pass. Besides the normal rewards, all these fangs, a bunch of rewards here. Pretty lousy, by the way. Coal, wood, a lot of lousy stuff. But starting from this level, level 24, we start getting a level 1 to level 3 cat. It's in the food bowl. They're pretty useless because dogs, cats, don't need to be fed. They grow on their own. But anyway, in case we want to speed it up, there are 2 more cats from level 1 to 3 in the premium pass. Later on, you'll see more. Drone module blueprint, various little things, but the only thing we have are these 2 from level 1 to 3 and these, and this cat from level 1 to 3 in the free pass. I think it might be worth doing this event, even if not completely, even if not every day. Let's go after the alligators, the bears, and all that to catch these cats in case there's something extra, like the extractors. I might get a few genomes or maybe a Dragonov. Tonight we'll decide if I'll play it, or if I'll play it a lot or a little, or if I'll just play it a little bit. Even if it's just to get these 1,000 fangs, to get these first 2 cats, it's super easy to get. You know, you have the Hunter's Journal, right? Where we're going to be able to get these fangs. We'll also have these fangs that they'll give us in the event pass. Getting these 1,000 fangs shouldn't be too hard. So guys, the robot dog is coming. We don't know when. It'll be when the update comes, obviously, but I don't expect it to come in July or August. Those are complicated months for big updates. I would expect it for September or October, probably. In the meantime, we can enjoy this Hunter's Instinct, get some kittens, and little by little start getting higher level cats. Guys, go live your lives, leave me a good like, share it with all your friends, and you already know that here the most important thing is to subscribe and have a great time.